You don't need to hustle harder. You need to care more about what you're hustling for. When you chase happiness, success follows, not the other way around. You've probably been told that if you want a good life, you've got to hustle. Wake up at 5 a.m., work 2 jobs, sacrifice weekends, eat stress for breakfast. And maybe you've tried it, but it just made you feel tired, burned out, empty. Here's the truth. Hustling without happiness is like running full speed in the wrong direction. In this video, I'm going to show you why it's not about working harder. It's about working from a place of passion. We'll talk about how to find what lights you up, how to turn it into something that actually pays, and why the grind only makes sense when you're doing it for something you love. Let's be honest. Most people don't hate work because they're lazy. They hate it because it doesn't mean anything to them. They're stuck doing things that pay the bills but drain their soul. So when someone says, you just have to hustle harder, all it does is push them closer to burnout. But here's a secret. You don't need to hustle harder. You need to hustle smarter. And that starts by asking a simple question. What actually makes you happy? No more glamorizing burnout, and start talking about what actually lasts. Joy, meaning, and alignment. Because if you're forcing yourself to wake up early, take cold showers, and crush 18-hour days, working on something you hate, that's not hustle, that's self-punishment. But when you're building something you actually believe in, something that lights a fire in your gut, you'll want to show up. You won't need motivation, you'll need a reminder to take breaks. So before you hustle, ask yourself, what's something I could do for hours without getting bored? What topic do people always come to me for advice on? What do I get lost in when no one's watching? That's the stuff you need to pay attention to. You've probably heard of Starbucks, but what you may not know is that Howard Schultz, the guy behind turning it into a global brand, didn't start off wealthy. He grew up in public housing with very little. He wasn't chasing coffee for money. He was chasing an experience. On a trip to Italy, he saw how people treated coffee like a ritual, slowing down, connecting, enjoying the moment. He came back and said, what if we created that in the US? He didn't invent coffee. He just gave it a new meaning. That's what passion does. It makes you see old things in new ways. And it worked. Not because he hustled harder than anyone else, but because he hustled for something he believed in. Okay, but how does passion become income? Let's break it down. Step 1, start where you are. You don't need to quit your job or move across the country to start. Start small. Nights, weekends, 1 hour a week if that's all you've got. Love baking? Start an Instagram page or offer cupcakes at local events. Obsessed with skincare? Start reviewing products. Into writing? Publish small pieces on Medium or Substack, then build from there. What matters is momentum, not mastery. Step 2, look for problems you can solve. The easiest way to turn passion into profit is to solve someone else's problem with your joy. Ask yourself, what frustrates people in the area I love? What's missing from this space? What's something I wish existed? Step 3, add a creative spin. You don't need to invent something new. You need to do something familiar in a new way. When you mix creativity with consistency, that's when people start paying attention. You don't need to be the best. You just need to be real. So many people never start because they think, there's already someone doing it better than me. Here's the truth. Someone out there is waiting for your version of it. They don't want the most polished expert. They want someone real. Someone like them. People connect with people who've been where they are, who speak their language, share their struggles, and show up with heart. If you're honest, consistent, and yourself, you'll stand out more than someone trying to be perfect ever will. Let's be real. Turning your passion into something profitable does take work. It takes time, effort, patience, but that work doesn't feel like punishment. It feels like purpose. And yeah, there will be late nights, you'll hit walls, you'll even doubt yourself sometimes. But when you're building something that's truly yours, you keep going because it matters. You hustle not because you hate where you are, but because you love where you're going. So here's the big shift. The goal isn't to hustle until you're happy. The goal is to get clear on what makes you happy and then hustle with direction. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need a starting point, a spark, something you care about. The people who win long term are the ones who do what they love and find ways to serve others through it. So, find your joy. Turn it into something real. Solve a problem. Add your twist, then build it with heart. Because when you lead with passion, success stops being a finish line and starts becoming part of the journey.